In this video we're going to learn how to use external tools like PowerBI and Tableau and how to connect them directly to model databases in the Optologic platform. So by now you would have used and probably created your own powerful analytics dashboards within Cosmic Frog, but it's also important to support any analytics tool of choice. So we're going to start with PowerBI. And we're going to link directly to this model database, and then we're going to recreate this scenario comparison for the financials inside Power BI. So let's open up File Explorer for this model, and we'll, with the right hand mouse menu, navigate to Cloud Storage. And in Cloud Storage, we will click to authorize the current IP address. So this will enable us to securely connect to this model database, and then we can go and get our connection information ready to set up Power BI. So now we can open Power BI on our desktop, and we'll go to Get Data. We'll select for more connections. We can then search for Postgres, and then we can select Postgres SQL database. And if we click Connect, that will then provide a window where we can start putting our connection information. So we can easily get this information from the Optologic platform. So if I move back into the platform, I can get the host, which is the server, and simply by clicking this, it will copy it to the clipboard, and I can use Ctrl-V to paste that into Power BI, and then we'll go back to the Optologic platform and we'll get the database name, and again I can easily paste that into Power BI. I have a couple of options here. Import will keep a cached version of the data locally, where direct query will look back to the database every single time we open the report. So we can now click OK, and that will make a direct connection to that database. We'll now have to authenticate, providing the new username and password. So we can go to the Optologic platform and we can take the username, and we will put that again using Ctrl-V across, and then we'll take the password and we'll put that across as well. And then we can simply click Connect. Now we're connected directly to that model in the Optologic platform, and we can see all of the tables that exist. Because we're looking at the database directly, every single time we upgrade our Anora data model, we will keep a backup. So that will show as a different schema. We want to make sure that we're always using the latest version of that model database. And if we look at table filtering, then we can see that we can select the optimization network summary table in that latest version of the schema. And if we click load, it's going to allow us to build a report against that data set. So now we can see for the table we've selected all of the columns. And if we take a stacked bar and we put that onto the canvas, then we can say we want the x-axis to be the scenario name, and in the y-axis we can select things like the total production cost. We can take the total fixed operating cost, and we can also take the total transportation cost. And now we've successfully recreated that financial comparison between scenarios that we saw on the Cosmic Frog analytics dashboard, but this is done in Power BI connected directly to that model database that sits in our cloud. So now let's do the same in Tableau. I've got an empty Tableau workbook open, and I can select to connect to data, and I'm going to connect to a server, and I'm going to select the Postgres SQL connector. And very similar to Power BI, that will ask me for information about the database and the credentials. So I can move quickly between the Optologic platform and the cloud storage app, and I can click the host and put that into the server. We can take the port and update that. We can take the database, the username, and the password for that specific database. Again, we need to require SSL, and if we click sign in, that will connect us directly to the model database in the Optologic cloud. So now we're connected to that database, we can see all of the tables. and we want to take the optimization network summary table, and we're going to make sure that we take that for the latest version of the Anora data model. So we can drag that across, and then we can see all of the columns that exist in that table that we're able to work with in the report. And we also have the option to keep the connection live, so every time we open this Tableau report, this workbook, it will automatically refresh the data, or we can have a locally cached extract. And now we have that data source configured, we can move into the workbook and we can start building our dashboard. So if we put in scenario name as columns, and I'm just going to take the total supply chain cost, then we can start to see, again, we're looking at a visualization, comparing the financials across the scenarios, but we're doing it in Tableau, and that data is coming directly from that model database that sat inside the Optologic cloud.